Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AR Legends. And yeah, guys, today I am back with another series for you guys, which is going to be what if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the powers of Goku Black. So, yeah, guys, hopefully, you guys will like this series. And yeah, guys, for the next part, the like goal is going to be 200 likes and 100 comments. Do that, and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. Who knows? It could even be today. And yeah, guys, stay in tune on this channel today, as today I will upload more than one videos on this channel. So hopefully you guys will like it. And yeah, guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It would be really helpful to me. And yeah, guys, I've also put the link of my Instagram within the description below, as well as the link of my friend's channel who have started to make good videos on YouTube. So the link is in the description below. Watch it and like it as well as the link of my other, you can say, what if channels, as well as my new manhwa channel, manhwa recap. If you guys like that, then the link is in the description below. Please watch it and hopefully you guys will like it. So without any further ado, let us start the video. As this video start, shut up. Can't you understand it? How many times do I have to tell you, you useless brat? As a red-headed figure, as it was none other than Kushina, as she backhanded our main protagonist, which is none other than a 6 years old Naruto who slammed into a nearby wall, as on the other side his siblings were snickering at that, as it was none other than Menma and Mito as the father of the family. As Minato looked towards Naruto, Naruto, I am disappointed in you. Why do you have to be such a jealous brat of your siblings? I understand that you do not have as much talent as Menma and Naruto, but you should understand and do not do things recklessly and waste our time. As Kushina glared towards Naruto, to be honest, Naruto, how many things do you want and how much of an ungrateful brat can you be? You are given time food 3 times a day. Well, mostly one time actually, but anyways, and you have a roof on top of your head, you get food, you get clothes, what do you want from us more? Even though you're not as talented as Menma and Ruko, as another figure spoke up, well, Minato, I must say that you should teach your kid more manners, as it was none other than Jiraiya, who was, you can say, eating some food. Well, Naruto, you should understand your parents. They are busy people and have better things to do with their time than to waste it on you. And you should not disturb your parents, as Tsunade spoke up, of course. And be a good brat and go to your room. We have other things to deal with. After all, the training and of Menma and Naruto takes more prominent on that, as Naruto had tears in his eyes. As far as he could remember, he was always told that he was not as talented as Menma and Naruto, even though beforehand he did not understand what the talent they were talking about. After all, he was only 4 years old, and on top of that, he was not even trained, not even a single day of his time. Hell, he has yet to activate, along with his siblings, his chakra, but his parents and his godparents always told him that how Manma and Naruto was special and Naruto was not comparable to them. So today was the day he decided to learn the tree walking exercise and told his parents, but what did he get in return? The taunting and the mocking from his parents and his siblings and his so-called godparents, as he had tears in his eyes as he ran away. As Kushina sighed, what I'm going to do with that brat, Minato? I do not understand it. As Minato sighed, don't worry about it, Kushina. When the time comes, we'll make a decision. After all, we have already chosen Menma and Ruko to be the heirs of our family. As Kushina nodded at that, as Jiraiya nodded, well, Minato, I have decided to give Menma the Toad summoning contract. As Tsunade spoke up, and I shall give Mito the scroll of the summoning of slugs. As Mito simply smiled at that, as well as Menma as the sneaker and unfortunate of their brother. They did not care much about it, as Naruto slammed the door shut as he had tears in his eyes, as he could not understand what could he do in his life. For what he wanted was justice for himself, while on the other hand far away into another world, another universe, another reality, as one figure was about to be destroyed, as it was none other than Fuse Damaso. His last moment of thoughts were that he wanted justice. That was all what he wanted, but in the end of the day, he was destroyed if only he could have more time, if only there was someone who could complete his mission to bring justice to the universe and the kind. And just like that, his time ring glowed for a second and it disappeared as the Goku Black Zamasu was erased by Zeno, while on the other hand, Naruto was simply, you can say, crying, while on the other hand, far away into the sky at the center of Konoha as a portal opened up, as many of the shinobi senses some, you can say, uneasiness, as all of them came out of their houses as they were shocked to see that the pleasant weather turned into a storm as the portal opened at the center of it, as the sky was cracking, as they were thinking what was going on here. At the center of it, a purple and pinkish energy slammed into the ground as the whole place simply light up while Minato, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kushina complete, you can say, quickly appeared at the center of Konoha, wondering what was going on here. The only thing they saw, the lightning that was released from, you can say, the sky, as Minato was wondering if Kumo was attacking or something like that. While unknown to all of them, a, you can say, pinkish energy has been founding his new air, the power that was residing in the time rings, the, you can say, tempering of the timelines, all of that has made a new kind of energy, and now it was using its new owner, its new heir, as the personality was to be matched to the previous owner, and that it met when Naruto thought he wanted justice, and that was the time it chose its new owner, as Naruto's eyes suddenly snapped open as he was hit with a pink beam of energy as he let out a scream of pure pain and agony. And while on the other hand, the people of Konoha was running around, wondering what was going on here as the shinobis were trying to evacuate the whole place, as Naruto's eyes were now shining with pink energy, as his body was floating in his fingers, some symbols started to appear as his chest was simply, you can say, his shirt torn open, and some symbols started to appear all over his body. As after some time, you can say, the things finally calmed down as Minato was now standing in front of the council as they were discussing the whole phenomena, as they had different theories, but at the moment they have yet to determine what actually has happened. While on the other hand, Naruto was now simply floating into the mid-air as he opened his eyes to see that he was in a darkened world. As he started to look around, wondering where he was, all he saw was darkness, but then he saw a light that was shining far away as he started to walk towards it and then run towards it as he saw a pink energy that was gathered all over the place. And that energy, something that was, you can say, calling out to Naruto to accept it, to embrace it, to have the power to travel through the timelines, the power to control the time itself, and the powers of its previous owners. And all of it, power that was calling out to him. And just like that, a 6 years old Naruto touched the power, and that was the time which sealed his fate as the Time Walker, the Time Destroyer, the ruler. As just like that, all that energy dissolved into Naruto's own the knowledge, the understanding of the world, the timelines, the parallel world through its own, all of them trying to enter into Naruto's body, but quickly realized that the kid was too young. His mind was not developed enough to contain all that power, so he decided to compromise for the moment as Naruto in the real world, the eyes open with a new understanding of the world and the power that was flowing through his body. He felt like he was on the top of the world, that he could do anything, he could destroy anything, and a search for, you can say, new ideology that was trying to override his own, but he simply shook his head. He could control his powers for the moment as he simply, you can say, floated down back as he looked towards his hand, the power that was inside of it. It was like with a flick of his finger, he can make Konoha into ashes, a history, nothing more than that. As a smirk came to his face, just wait and watch, father, mother, as he thought in his mind, the time shall come when he will bestow justice upon all of these people who have the audacity to stand in front of him. The time shall come when he will have his justice, his revenge, as he burst into laughter. Now let us have a small time skip. In this time, Naruto was training in the forest of death, controlling his new powers that he has gained through this, you can say, strange phenomena that has happened in Konoha. And now, finally, today was the day he shall leave this pathetic village and shall start his own journey. After all, he has a new ideology. He could understand the previous owner of this power wanted to destroy everything, but Naruto did not want it that. After all, why destroy something when you can control it? As he, you can say, clench his face, soon enough he shall rule this universe. That is his new plan. And why stop on this universe when there are so many other timelines to be? As he smirk at that, he will get powerful enough. He will get the strongest being to ever walk this world. As he smirk at that, while on the other hand, in, you can say, Namakaze and Uzumaki compound, a party was going on, as it was none other than the birthday party of Menma and Naruto. Well, of course, Naruto as well. But who cares about the failure, as all of them like to call him that. After all, he was not as talented as Menma and Naruto. That was the common ideology of all the people there. Completely, you can say, dismissing the fact that Menma and Naruto has yet to master the leaf sticking exercise, and Naruto had already performed the whole tree walking, exercise, and even you can say water walking. While on the other hand, Minato spoke up. Alright, since all you guys have gathered here, I welcome all of you to the party of Menma Naruko's birthday, and today is the day I shall announce to be the new heirs of the family. As you can say, Naruto has also entered into the room. As you can say, Minato and Kushina noticed that but completely ignored him. After all, the cake only had two names and Naruto was such a disappointment. Who cares about him, right? So he finally decided to speak up. Today is the day I shall announce the heirs to our family, to the clans, and to the future of Konoha. So therefore, Menma is going to be the future head of the Namakaze clan, and I and Jiraiya sensei shall personally train him to be the next Hokage. At this, there were, you can say, applause for all of them as Menma stepped forward, arrogantly smirking towards all of them as his eyes met his failure of an older brother as he gave him a smug grin, as he was expecting Naruto to cry and run away or something like that, to be disappointed, to angry, to be sad, but to his surprise, the only thing he saw in the eyes of his older brother was nothing. Yes, that was the only thing that was present there. Nothing, no hatred, no happiness, no empathy, nothing at all. As finally, you can say Minato spoke up, and the head of the Uzumaki clan is going to be Mito Uzumaki, as well as hereby is going to be the betrothal of Sasuke Uchiha from the Uchiha clan, as Sasuke stepped forward arrogantly, as Fugaku had the same, you can say, matching grin, as Minato smiled at that. This was the brilliant plan of Minato to stop the coup d'etat of, you can say, the Uchiha clan to marry off his daughter to the youngest heir of the Uchiha clan, thus showing his fate towards the Uchiha clan, so therefore stopping the so-called coup d'etat of the Uchiha clan. Finally, you can say Minato spoke up. Well, today's the day that they become the clan heirs, but I have another announcement to be made as you look towards Naruto. Naruto, as a, you can say, disappointed father in you. I have given you multiple chances, but it seemed that you have shown no progress about your behavior and all that. I had hoped that it would never come to this, but you have disappointed me over and over again with your, you can say, non-existing talent compared to Melma and Naruto, and with your behavior. So, by the laws of Konoha and the laws of the Uzumaki and Namakase and the clan laws, since you have been removed as the clan heir of both of the clans, you should pack your things because today is the day you shall leave this compound, and your name of Uzumaki and Namakase is to be, you can say, removed from your name by the order of the Hokage and the order of the clan heads, as Kushina and Minato had the stern expression on their faces, expecting Naruto to cry, to beg, to stay there. But to their surprise, Naruto simply looked towards all of them, as Naruto then smirked at that. Is that all, Lord Hokage? Well then, I shall take my leave. After saying that, he decided to, you can say, walk away as people were murmuring, as many of the clan heads were a bit surprised, but it was to be expected. After all, from what they have heard, Naruto was just a failure. So therefore, it was only to be expected that the Hokage would get rid of him, the disappointment, as you can say. But Manma was not, you can say, stopping at that. Hey, failure, don't you have anything to say? But Naruto simply ignored him as he was walking away. As Mito spoke up, hey, he was talking to you, you damn failure. Answer that. As Naruto stopped and looked back towards both Manma and Naruto, who smirked, thinking that they have won. As Manma spoke up, why did you ignore me? Did you honestly believe that you have a choice to, you can say, simply ignore someone like me, a superior, a elite? As Naruto looked towards him, a superior, you say? As Naruto's tone was that of a full of humor, a elite, a superior. Well, that is quite a claim to be, Manma. For someone like you, who is nothing but a weapon, a tool for the village to use, and when the time comes, disregard like trash. As there was dead silence in the whole room, as the clan heads' eyes widened at that, as you can say, Manma and Ruko could not believe their ears. They were, you can say, their older brother was saying. After all, they were heroes who, you can say, simply sealed away QB and protected the village just like their parents and Konoha citizens has said. As not to smirk at that as he saw that how Kushina was about to say something. Do you honestly believe that, Manma, Naruko, that the people of this village actually care about you? That is quite the thing. Open your eyes, you damn tools. Did you not see the looks when you get, when you pass away, the people who are simply smiling at you, but the moment you get away, they start murmuring among themselves about the, oh, you guys are the reincarnation of the QB tools. At least I have a choice, even though I will be banished from this clan, but I will still live by my own, you can say, principles. I will do as I please, while on the other hand, both of your fates are sealed. You shall become the Hokage, right, Manma? Do you think it's an honor, huh? Well, you do not have a choice about it. When the time comes, the village expect you to give up your life because you're the Hokage, and you have no choice about it because your fate is as good as sealed. While on the other hand, Mito, you're the worst of it. After all, you're nothing but a tool, not used once but twice. You're simply handed to the Uchiha clan in a silver platter to use as they see fit. And when the time comes, they will simply disregard you, just like when the time comes, they will, you can say, strip out the power of the QB from you and put it inside of someone else that deem fate. That is your fate. At least I have a choice what I can and cannot do. While on the other hand, you guys, you're all but a tool, nothing more than that. After saying that, he simply walked away as there was dead silence in the whole room. As finally, you can say, Menma, you can say, came out of his stupor as he looked towards his father, who looked towards, you can say, Manma, as he said, Manma, do not listen to him. He was simply, you can say, getting angry and saying bullshit, as you can say, Jiraiya nodded at that. Yes, Manma, you shall become Hokage, and then you shall achieve great things. You will protect this village. You're a hero. Never hear to the words of Naruto. At this, you can say Menma gulped a little as Naruko had tears in her eyes as she looked towards her mother, who simply, you can say, started to comfort her as the mood of the party was ruined at that, as Minato was angry at that, as well as Kushina. They will have to teach that failure a lesson as soon as possible. How dare he to say such things to their precious children? After all, they were heroes, not tools. And finally, you can say, on the other hand, Naruto appeared in the forest of that. It was time for him to leave this place. After all, the world is a big one, and he has to get used to this power. But one day he will return to this world, and when that day comes, he will take it all for himself. As he smirked at that, energy started to surround his body. A, you can say, pinkish aura erupted from his body, changing his hair into pink as he jumped. No, he flew like a rocket, and within minutes he was out of the orbit of the planet, going into another world. After all, it was time for him to take full charge of his body and powers. And mark his words, it was not the end of it. He will come back when he will take over this whole universe. and then he will go into the other ones as well. He's not gonna follow the ideology of his predecessor. All of it, at least. After all, why destroy something when you can control it? And while on the other hand, Minato has sent Ambus to get Naruto. After all, they need to have a talk as soon as possible. But to his surprise, after hours of searching, Ambos were able to find nothing, as Minato was a bit confused. As you can say, Ambu, Captain arrived in front of the office as Minato, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kushina, and third Hokage were present there waiting and ready to, you can say, announce their punishment to Naruto and the decree of the, you can say, Hokage and the council who has signed off on the banishment papers of Naruto for, you can say, offending and laying accuses to the village and the goodwill of the council and all that bullshit. So they have signed off on his banishment, but to their surprise, nothing was found there. As Minato raised an eyebrow at the Ambu captain who has just announced that they were unable to find Naruto. As Minato looked towards him, Kakashi, remove your mask. As Kakashi did so, as he said, what are you talking about, Kakashi? Did you say that you were unable to find that spoiled brat, that ungrateful failure? As Kakashi nodded at that, Sensei, me along with my team has searched all over the place. It seemed that Naruto had the common sense to leave the village. After all, now that he's banished from the Uzumaki Namikaze clan, there is no reason for him to stay in the village. So he must have decided to cut his losses. As Minato scoffed at that, he wanted to rub in on that disappointment. After all, he was banished for 7 years from this village. The council wanted to, you can say, announce it in front of him, wanted to see his face when they announced that, but it seemed that it was not to be, as they saw it. But anyways, the order is still in work. If for 7 years he's seen inside of Konoha, he's to be arrested and tried for that. We wanted to announce it firsthand, but it seemed that he decided to leave first. But anyways, it is not our problem to deal with. If he is found in 7 years inside of the village, he shall be tried and given punishment according to it. As they nodded at that, as Minato looked towards Jiraiya, as Jiraiya nodded, well, Minato, the great elder told premonition is still in progress. Naruto, with the attainable, but some evilish power, shall bring destruction to the shinobi world as well as the worlds wherever he shall go is to be stopped. As Minato nodded at that, after all, on the day of the birth of Menma Naruko, the great elder told sage has gave a premonition that one of the children of Minato shall bring utter destruction to the world, and he shall erase the way of the shinobis. No one in the elemental nations would be able to stop him, and he shall be born with a, you can say, a seal on his back, on the back of his neck, as it was a seal, like you can say a ring, something like that. But anyways, and that was found on Naruto, so that was the reason for the prejudice against Naruto. They decided to, you can say, isolate him, and when the time comes, get rid of him. After all, they cannot accept someone like him to be their son, someone like him to be their heir, and they shall not accept it. They will train Nanma and Naruto day and night, and when the time comes, they shall face him. Naruto shall die. That was his future, his destiny, as they simply nodded at that. And now let us go to Naruto, as Naruto was at the moment floating in front of two beings, as both of them had several, you can say, injuries all over their body. As Naruto was simply floating in front of them. Now Naruto was at the age of 10. In these years he has trained relentlessly and has gained control over so much of his powers. He has gone through civilizations after civilizations, planets after planets, and completed his agendas, and now he was standing in front of two beings who claimed to be the gods, but they were nothing but insects only, the arrogant beings who considered themselves to have the powers of gods. As he simply scoffed at that thought as he looked towards both of them, as these were none other than the Utsutskis, as it was none other than Momoshiki and Kinshiki. As Naruto looked towards them, you little insects, did you honestly believe that you have the power to stand up to someone like me? Huh, quite foolishness. As Momoshiki gritted his teeth, "You damn mortal! You do not understand who I am. I am Momoshiki, one of the members of the Ususuki clans. We are God." As you can say, not to simply scoff at that, I have already seen your pathetic power. It is nothing comparable to me. As Momoshiki had enough of it. As they looked back to see the chakra fruit was yet to be completed, he would have eaten it to take this being down. He was a threat to the power of the Utsuki clan. As he looked towards Kinshiki, Kinshiki now! As Kinshiki nodded as he appeared in front of Momoshiki, and you can say Momoshiki grabbed him and changed him into that of a fruit as Naruto raised an eyebrow. Huh, oh really now? Are you gonna eat it? As Momoshiki simply, you can say, started to eat it without answering Naruto, and just like that, he went through his transformation as he started to laugh as he said, "Huh, this is the power I have achieved. Behold the power of a god." As he rushed towards Naruto, as Naruto looked towards him with a bored expression, as Momoshiki put all of his power into a punch ready to send Naruto flying. But to his surprise, Naruto simply, you can say, almost lazily grabbed his face. To Momoshiki's shock, he felt the pressure on his hand, and within seconds he heard the bones creaking in his hand as he let out a scream of pure pain and agony as he tried to remove his hand from Naruto's, you can say, grip. But Naruto spoke up. Huh, well, it is pretty rude to move your hand back when we are shaking it. Isn't it a bad thing? Wouldn't you agree? Momoshiki, as Naruto moved his hand as Momoshiki let out a scream of pure pain and agony as his whole arm was simply, you can say, Naruto cut it off with such a ease that it was not even funny as Naruto looked towards Momoshiki who was trying to stop the blood. "You bastard!" As he was now panting hard as Naruto looked towards him with a bored expression on his face. Momoshiki quickly noticed that the chakra fruit has quickly, you can say, blown as he smirked at that. "Huh, you have gotten too late. Now I shall observe that chakra fruit, and afterward I will get." But before he could complete his sentence, you know, I never understood it why you evil or your so called villainish people decided to announce your plan to the whole world before doing it. Now, begone, you have bored me long enough. As Naruto moved his hand in the face of Momoshiki, and before he could say anything, a beam of energy erupted from Naruto's hand, turning him into nothing but ash. As Naruto looked towards the chakra fruit, as he smirked at that. Hmm, even though I do not need it, but let's see that what this so-called chakra fruit has to offer to me, someone like me. As he appeared in front of the chakra fruit and grabbed it and started to eat it. To his surprise, his chakra level skyrocketed as two renegade eyes appeared in his eye sockets, as well as they started to turn into another evolution. As Naruto smirked at that. Interesting power, different than my own, but still useful in the future. As Naruto started to pump his energy into the Rinnegan as it changed into pure pink Renegades, as Naruto simply chuckled at that as it reverted back to it, as some other energies appeared behind Naruto. As Naruto smirked, "Soon enough, I'll come back to the elemental nations, and when that day come, that would be fun." As Naruto vanishes, after all, he has some other civilizations to rule over. As Naruto now appeared in front of a, you can say, planet, as he started to land, in front of him appeared some of the, you can say, royal guards as he started to kneel in front of Naruto. As Naruto finally landed and started to walk towards a gigantic palace, as after some time he decided to take the throne as he sat on it. In front of him appeared some of the other warrior races and people like, you can say, Namekians and all that. Well, I'm not gonna completely add them, but let's just say that they're more of a alien races. As Naruto looked towards them, what do you guys have to report about my Naruto Empire? As one of the members stepped forward, "My lord, according to your order, we have, you can say, gone into these planets as he shows some of the map, and we have placed siege there. But it seems that these are some resisting, and they seem to have some of the help from the Ususuki clan." As Naruto narrowed his eyes, this Ususuki clan was throne on his side, but soon enough he will get rid of them. As he simply nodded at that. They are just amusing. That is the only reason they are alive. But it seems that they have annoyed me long enough. But don't worry, soon enough their time shall come. As Naruto smirked at that as he dismissed his hand, he is slowly taking over the universe. He has taken over at least half of it, but the other half is mostly controlled by the Ususukes and they are getting on his nerves now as he has to complete his mission and enter into the other universes and the other timelines as well. And this thing cannot be tolerated. Well, if he wanted, he would have taken over the universe long time ago. But he wanted his body to grow up a little bit. He wanted more power, more control over his power. He could sense it. He can go even further beyond than his predecessor. And he wanted that power for himself. But the problem was his body was not strong enough to contain all of that power, and for that reason, he's training a lot harder, even eating some of the chakra fruits, even though he does not need them. They does grant him interesting abilities like the Rinnegan, who has the power over the life or death as well. Well, at least on a cost for a normal person, but Naruto was not normal. They have interesting abilities, so that was the only reason he was consuming them, so he can control more of his original power. So he nodded at that, while on the other hand, on the elemental nations as Jiraiya has appeared in front of Minato after some time. As Minato looked towards Jiraiya, Jiraiya sensei, you're back, huh? As Jiraiya nodded at that, well, Minato, it was a good trip, and I've done my research as well. Here's the new copy. As he threw a copy of Aika Aika towards Minato, who quickly grabbed it and hid it as he smirked at that. Well, can't let Kushina see it, right? As Jiraiya laughed a little bit, well, Minato, I must say that this little training trip with Menma and Ruko has really opened my eyes. I am telling you, Minato, they have more potential than even you. As Minato let out a laugh, well, Jiraiya sensei, I'm really proud of both of them. They have come a long way. Do you know that? They have already completed 2 steps of Rasengan. They are struggling at the third one, but I believe that in a year or two they would have been able to master it completely. As Jiraiya nodded at that, such a raw talent, Minato. I must say that even at such a young age, they're improving a lot as Minato nodded at that. As Jiraiya got a bit serious, well, Minato, about my secondary mission, I have gone through all of my contacts and even contacted some of my undercover spies, but it seemed that they're unable to find that brat. As Minato's, you can say, demeanor changed into that of anger and hatred as he said, well, Sensei, we have to get him as soon as possible. It seems that the great Elder Toad Sage has another premonition, this time Naruto with a side, and in front of him the dead bodies of all the 5 kgs. And the utter destruction of Konoha and all the other 5 villages. As Jiraiya nodded at that, the great Toad Sage has seen and predicted the future for several hundred years, and there was not even a single premonition which he has seen has gone wrong, so therefore they must eliminate Naruto as soon as possible. Previously, they thought that if they crushed the spirit and the will of Naruto, then things would be alright. That was the reason he has announced it in front of the whole village, and he wanted Naruto to remain in the village so that they can keep an eye on him. But that quickly was thrown out of the window when the brat decided to leave, and the council passed the bill of his banishment, even though it was helpful for Minato because he would have Danzo get the brat and use him as a tool for the good of village. But the brat has disappeared into thin air. As you can say, Jiraiya speak up, Minato, this is bad news. We have to get him as soon as possible. I would require some of your ambus to get the brat. After all, it has been 4 years, as Minato spoke up. Is there is a possibility, Sensei, that he's dead? As Jiraiya shook his head, I do not know, Minato. But the great Elder Toad Sage does not believe so. So there is a strong possibility that he's alive somewhere and is training to get his revenge on us. That cannot be permitted, Minato. After all, the great Elder Toad's premonition says clearly that Naruto is the demon attract to the, you can say, elemental nation's prosperity and our system and the shinobi way, and it cannot be changed. As Minato nodded at that, we would have to train Manma Naruko even more, Jai Sensei, because when the time comes, I believe that they are our salvation. As Jiraiya nodded at that and decided to take his leave, as Minato looked back towards his village, I will protect Konoha no matter what. As the Hokage, I will never let the will of fire be died down in village, as he had determination in his eyes to find and get rid of Naruto, the greatest threat to Konoha, as well as the elemental nations and the shinobi base. And while on the other hand, another time skip, Naruto was standing in front of, you can say, one of the generals of the Utsutskis, as Naruto smirked towards him. Well, I was not expecting you to be here, Q Utsutsuki, as Q gritted his teeth at that. You damn brat! You know what you have done! As Naruto looked towards him, what have I done except killed off 8,000 of your kind? What have you what have I done other than that? With an innocent smile, SQ Ususki gritted his teeth. He has brought here 1,500 Ususkis, and to be on battle to get rid of this, you can say, so-called Naruto Empire. But all thousand of them were slaughtered. The rest, 500 of them, were simply, you can say, too injured to fight off. Some of them even flew off into some other dimensions, knowing that they cannot go back to the Ususuke world where their king would definitely kill them. So they were running and now were rogue. SQ Ususuke stood up badly. He had, you can say, one Byakugan and one, you can say, strange eye. As Naruto looked towards him, quite the eye you have there. Tell me, what are these abilities you get from it? As Q gritted his teeth, you did not know about it. As he rushed towards Naruto, as Naruto simply smiled at that, as he started to, you can say, dodge all of his attacks, like he already knew where they were coming from. As Naruto was now laughing at him, is that all you got? As Naruto grabbed him by the throat and slam it into the planet, and with a casual wave, the whole continent was simply shattered with the body of Q Utsuki pummeling into the center of it, broken beyond repair now. As Naruto looked towards him with pity in his eyes, the mocking pity, as he said, is that all you got, weakling? As Q tried to stand up, but he was already too weak. As Naruto grabbed him by the shoulder, by the head, and started to read his thoughts forcefully. As Q tried to stand up, tried to implant his karma on Naruto, but it was to be not to be any avail. After all, Momoshiki has already tried that, but Naruto utterly destroyed him and took his powers for himself, of course. And same thing Naruto did with all the other Usutskis who were too oversmart to try the same bullshit with Naruto, but Naruto let them mark him with their so-called karma. It was not to be. After all, he will destroy their personality and their essence, only taking their powers for himself. As he smirked towards Q, who quickly realized that what he was doing, as he tried to cancel it out, but it was already too late. He was dead, but his powers were not. As Naruto simply chuckled at that, it seemed that King Ususuke, the king of the Ususuke clan, was now getting desperate. After all, Naruto has already had an encounter with this King Ususuke, the king of the Ususuke clan. Needless to say, it was completely one-sided. Naruto had a bit of fun with the man, but in the end of the day, he was simply too weak. As Naruto beat him to the inch of his life, but he was able to run away with some of his generals interfering in the match and giving the chance for the king to get away from it, you can say, sacrificing themselves to protect their king. As Naruto was annoyed by that, and this Kyu Ususuke was one of them. But it was already too late. The man was dead, and Naruto had the memories of it. Now the Ususuke clan only contained 200 members along with their king, and they had decided to go into hiding. As Naruto got all the memories of this Q Ususuke about the plan of the Ususuke clan, if this, you can say, attack of theirs failed, then they would go into hiding for some years and make their ultimate weapon they were working on to take Naruto down. It has some of the DNA of Naruto as well. They got from one of the battle a small part of his hair they were able to cut off, and they sacrificed over 200 Ususukis for them to take it to another dimension for their so-called ultimate weapon, as Naruto was amused by it. So therefore he allowed it. After all, he wanted to have a bit of fun. And as powerful as these so-called Utsukis were, they were not powerful enough to give him a bit of fun. So he allowed it as he simply threw the dead body of the Utsuki as he looked around to see some of the Utsukis they have captured. As he looked towards one of his generals who kneeled in front of Naruto, as Naruto said, take them away. We have some other things to deal with. And now you can say the time has come, as Naruto was now at the age of 15. As he was looking down towards his empire, he has taken over most of the universe, and now he was standing in front of his generals. It is time that I fulfill my promise that I made long ago. I will be going back to the elemental nations. Do not worry. I will have a bit of fun there for a year or two. In the meantime, as he appointed one of his generals to take care of his empire after all, as the ruler of the universe, he is, you can say, free to do whatever he wanted. So a smirk came to his face as he simply nodded at that as Naruto looked towards the sky over his planet as it vanishes at the hyper speeds. After some time, he looked towards the elemental nations, a blue ball of, you can say, planet, as he chuckled at that as he finally arrived in a desolate area. As he looked over to see, you can say, the whole planet and all of it as he screamed on the top of his lung. I am back! As with that, a burst of energy erupted from his body, while far away, the Cage eyes widened, same with the Raikage, the Tsuchikage, the Mizukage, as well as the Hokage, as the whole, you can say, planet shook a little bit as all of them were shocked. The power they sensed, it was almost for a second, but for that second, it was like an eternity. Even the S-rank organization, the Akatsuki, stopped for a moment as Pain's eyes widened when he sensed the power that was coming from, you can say, from out of nowhere. And with that came a fear of their own mortality. A part of them was scared beyond their description, and they did not know why it was, but they were scared for some reason, and a part of foreboding was inside of them, while on the other hand, the great Elder Toad Sage eyes snapped open. He almost had a heart attack as he spoke up. Summon Jiraiya as soon as possible. As you can say, his voice was trembling as one of the other Elder Toad Sage, Fukasaku, spoke up. The great Elder Toad Sage, are you alright? As he looked towards him, sweating and scared at the same time, telling him that he should summon Jiraiya as soon as possible. As they simply nodded at that, as great Elder Toad Sage stood up, saying that how the time has come. But hey guys, here I will love this part. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And for the next part, the like goal and the comment goal, you guys already know about it. Complete it, and I shall upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, have fun and peace.